What's up guys, Boss here, and I'm back from the YouTube video, and this time we're going to try to get 12 wins in this current challenge. We're currently 8-1 right now, so we can afford to lose one more game, but we can't lose two if we want to get the 12 wins. I'm using 3.0 XBOW. This deck, in my opinion, is the best deck in the meta. There's so many XBOW players having success with this variant this season. I feel like Knight's better than the Ice Golem because of all the RG. It's really good to have the Knight to DPS down the RG. And just to show you guys how good XBOW is, there's so many people right now high up with it. Best NA is second in the world. He was actually first, I think, like an hour ago. Betfus is 13th using XBOW. You have Ian, who's 22nd. Arda, who is 25th. This guy uses it as well. He's just hiding his deck. And let me see if there's any others I can find. But yeah, lots of people like in the top 50 using XBOW. And the reason why it's so good in this meta is there aren't really any bad matchups, and even if there is a deck that slightly counters you, you can outplay it because you have a really fast cycle, and even if you can't break through with an XBOW, you can play defensive XBOWs and just go for spell cycle, like chip with your fireballs as well as logs. So before we get in the first game, if you guys want to support me, you can use my creator code BOSS. You can use it in any Supercell game, help support me, help support the channel, and I really appreciate all you guys who do use my code. It means a lot. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the first game. We're 8-1, and the reason why I really want to make a video on XBOW is because nothing in XBOW got nerfed. Like, if you guys saw the balance changes, they were, I think Clash Royale tweeted them on Twitter. There's the only nerfs were Sparky and Ewiz, so nothing in XBOW, nothing in RG really got touched. And this guy's going to be using RG, so this matchup is actually not that bad. Best NA actually said, who's the best XBOW player in my opinion, that XBOW actually counters. So that kind of shows right there that it's not that bad of a matchup. And XBOW actually has the slight edge, but you do have to play it really well. You can't make mistakes, but if you're playing it perfectly, there's really no way the RG player is going to be able to break through. So you don't want to go for offensive XBOWs in this matchup. You're just going to be playing like defensive Teslas. And once you get into double elixir, you can play defensive XBOWs. He's actually going to go... Wait, we can actually just fireball his tower. Okay, so... he's got the log variant. Most RG decks in this meta have the bard barrel, but I guess he's got the log for some reason. But yeah, if an RG player is going to fireball your tower, you can just fireball theirs right back. It doesn't really matter. And you just got to keep replacing Teslas. He's going to go RG. So we're going to make sure we're spacing out the Tesla and the... that was actually a very aggressive RG. I usually don't offensive XBOW, but because of how aggressive he was, it's actually a pretty good play. Okay, we might need to go for defensive XBOW now. Yeah, we might need to go for spell cycle now. And that's GG. So that shows you guys exactly how you want to play against RG. I didn't even play that perfectly. Like, it was pretty close, and he was even one fireball away from winning. Like, I mean, I feel like that's a 60-40 matchup for Expo, in my opinion, and I didn't even play perfectly. Like, I'm not an Expo one-trick. Like, I haven't fully mastered it. I mean, that guy wasn't, like, an incredible player or anything, but, I mean, I feel like he played it pretty well, and, I mean, that's exactly how you want to basically play against RG. I mean, you don't really go for offensive Expos unless they use their RG really aggressively in single and double, and you can, like, punish them, but, I mean, yeah, that was a pretty nice win. Alright, I'm going to go for an Ice Spirit at the bridge to start the game off. He's waiting. He's going to go for a Knight. I'm going to go for a Knight as well. Knight's used in a lot of decks, so could be, you know, a few different things. He's going to have Skeleton Dragons. I don't really need to fireball those. I think splitting Archers is okay, especially after the nerf they got. They're really not that difficult to take out. And this guy's going to have Lava, so when you're against Lava, you want to go for an Expo same lane as the Lava. And he's going to have Barbarians. I'm going to go ahead and play Knight. He might go for like a Fireball here. Okay, so easy catch on the Miner. I knew he was going to play that in the back. And we're going to get a really nice Expo connection here. And he's going to have a pretty difficult time, I feel like, breaking through if he decides to go for a Balloon, just because we have Archers as well as Tesla in rotation, so I don't think we're going to have too much of a struggle. We can even Fireball, and the Tesla is going to stay alive, and I mean, Lava is a really easy matchup for Expo. This is like one of the, in fact, the easiest matchups for Expo, in my opinion. I mean, pretty much, there's really no way you could lose it unless you make some obvious mistakes, because really all you're doing is just playing Expo same lane as the Lava Hound, and the Lava Hound player really should never be able to break through. And as long as it's not a 2-tower game, if they don't take one of your towers, you pretty much win, no matter what. But if they do take your tower and you're in a 2-tower situation, then it actually could be anyone's game. So just pretty much as long as you're making sure that you're keeping it a 1-tower game, it really shouldn't ever be an issue. So he's going to go for an Inferno Drag. If he plays Barbarians, I'm going to Fireball it along with the Inferno Drag. We're going to, once again... Ooh, actually, we don't catch the Miner. I was about to say we're going to once again catch the Miner, but he ended up arrowing the Ice Spirit, so that was a nice play on his end. I'm actually going to go ahead and play Archers because his arrows are out of rotation. He's going to go for a Balloon. Oh, he's going to try to bypass pushing the Balloon away in case I played the Tesla in a position where he could do that, but unfortunately for him, I was ready for that. So we're just going to log this. I'm going to go for a Knight. He's going to arrow. He's really low on Elixir right now. He just spent 8. So that should be a good game. I mean, he might go for a Miner and Zap, but I think it's over anyway. Really good matchup for us. And yeah, I mean, we pretty much won that from the start when he went for that Lava early on, because if it's single Elixir and they drop a 7 Elixir Lava, you're pretty much guaranteed to get an Expo lock. He's spamming the emotes right now, probably because he knows, like, maybe he knows me, or he just knows it's a really difficult matchup. It's probably either one of those. We're 10-1 right now, going on the next game. Finding our games really fast, which is nice. Sometimes when you're playing Grand Challenges, it can take, you know, like 5 minutes to find a game once you're at 9 wins or later, so it's a good thing we're finding games quickly. Okay, so we're going to go Ice Spirit Skeletons. We're always making the first play. See what this guy's going to do. He's going to go... Okay, this time I'm going to Fireball them because I don't actually have Archers in rotation. And I don't really want to leak Elixir and play a Knight. That doesn't really make sense. Okay, let's actually go for a Defensive Expo. I think this is fine. Like, usually if someone plays a building like a Goblin Cage, Barbarian Hut, Goblin Hut, anything like that, I usually play a Defensive Expo because it kind of gets rid of it. And even though it's a negative trade... You can see our Expo is almost at full health, and it forces a response out of him. So let's see what this guy has. It's probably a Graveyard deck, maybe, because he has... it actually could be another Lava deck. Yeah, I'm thinking Lava, most likely. The only thing is this Flying Machine's a little annoying. Okay, he's going to go for Lava. I'm going to go for an Expo. We're going to have Fireball ready in case he goes in for... not really the best Goblin Cage, in my opinion. Okay, so he's going to go for a Mega Minion. Mega Minion's going to get destroyed, and once again, Lava, so... Should be a pretty easy matchup, but actually, I will say, because he has the Skeleton Dragons, we could... have a slightly more difficult... We're going to let the Skeleton Dragons lock on the tower just because I feel like would have gotten... Alright, I'm just being careful because I have a feeling that... I was going to say he has a Miner. Okay, so that was a really, really good play on my end, letting the Skeleton Dragons lock on the tower, because had I not done that, and I played a Tesla to help take care of them, the Tesla would have gotten destroyed, and that Lava Hound wouldn't have... The Lava Pups wouldn't... It would have been pretty much still alive, and the Miner would have tanked for all of the Lava Pups, so I'm glad I let the Skeleton Dragons lock on. Sometimes taking damage is a good thing. So we got double Tesla here. It's absolutely shredding the Lava Hound. Oh my god. Oh, but he still took the tower. Well, I still think we can win. Oh, the Miner isn't hitting the Expo perfect, so the Expo is going to be at more HP, whittling down the tower. We can actually go for Archers because his arrows aren't in rotation. Nice, they get so much value because he didn't have arrows in cycle. He's going to go Barbarians probably, but he doesn't get them down in time. He's probably going to go for a Flying Machine, but I don't think it's going to matter. Expo's locked on the tower, and even though we got in a 2-tower game, we still were able to win, honestly, because that's a really good matchup for us. Like, even though he has arrows for the Archers, I mean, he has really no good way of stopping the Expo, especially considering we have Fireball for one of his only ground cards, the Barbarians. So we're 11-1 right now. Let's go ahead and go into the next game. This might be the last and final game. If we win it, if I do win this and we go 12-1, I might show a replay, because that would have been, I guess, a pretty quick video. I guess I'll see how it goes. All right, so I'll be editing out the search time because that took roughly, 4 minutes or so to find this game. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and cycle Log. I don't really like to play Knight first play, especially if I have a cheaper card in rotation. Okay, we'll go Knight now because he's leaking. And lava again. Well, I don't want to jinx it, but it's a good matchup, so I'm happy to see lava. We're going to go ahead and Expo. He's going to go for a Mega Minion, so I'm just going to go ahead and Tesla. Surprised to see all this lava. It's actually not even that good in the meta because of all the RG and Expo, which actually counters it really, really well. The fact that that Tesla isn't hitting the lava, though, could give us a little bit of trouble. Although... we'll have to see. Yeah, this is not looking very good. I think we just have to give up the tower. And we're in this two-tower situation again. Alright, I'm going to Expo. That's fine. I'm fine with that. We get a nice Expo connection, and even though he stops it, we get a nice lock, and he actually spent 7 elixir to take it out. So I'm fine with that. I'm going to go for a Knight and Skeletons to pressure, as well as an Ice Spirit. We're going to Fireball the Skeleton Dragons. We'll go Expo. We got to protect the archers. Oh no. GG. I don't know what went wrong that game, but as I said, when we reversed the lava, the first lava deck, that if you get in a two-tower situation, it actually can be quite difficult. But we versed 3 different lava decks, so even though we versed lava 3 times, all the variations were a little different, which was interesting. I feel like maybe this variant he had might have done the best out of all of the others because he had a Fireball, which obviously helps quite a bit considering it does way more damage towards like our Expo. It also kills the archers. But yeah, I definitely should have, I think the one issue that game was when I went for an Expo and the archers were right next to it, and he was able to Fireball both of them. That gave him so much value, but we're 11-2, so we still have one more chance. Alright, we finally found the game. Yeah, I'll be editing out the search time because that took about 2 minutes. Go ahead and cycle Skeletons, Archers, and we'll see what this guy has. He's going to go for an Ice Wizard. So that could definitely be Graveyard, but it could also be Ice Bow. We'll just have to wait and see what he has. Looks like there's a high chance that it's going to be Graveyard because he's got the Goblin Cage. So in this matchup, you need to try to get an Expo connection in single, ideally. And because he has his Knight out of cycle right now, I almost wonder if I could go for an Expo right now. Okay, we get a nice Expo connection there. Good timed Ice Spirit, allowing the Expo to lock on the tower and catching the Bard Barrel. So we have a solid lead here. But, of course, Graveyard is really, really good in double and triple elixir, so we got to be really careful about that. I'm going to go for a defensive Expo, playing it on the lane that has the most HP. We're going to go for a Tesla to take care of the baby dragon. He's going to go Graveyard. We got to get archers down to make sure we're taking it out. He's probably going to poison. No, he's not. He's not going to poison the Expo and the archers? Interesting. He probably should have. That was a lot of value. It's what I would have done anyway, but... He's instead going to set up for another graveyard. We're going to go in now because he was aggressive. The knight gets a connection as well. And we get another Expo lock. Really good value Fireball. And the Expo's going to lock on once again. So yeah, this is looking really good for us. We can go for a defensive Expo. If he goes for a baby dragon, we can block with a knight or a Tesla. And then archers the graveyard. It's Fireball. Can log it as well. Go for another defensive Expo. Can block. Alright, I'm going to go for an offensive Expo to apply pressure in the lane that has more hit points, so then this way he can't build up a huge graveyard push. I think that he misclicked that. Yeah, I think it would have been GG anyway, though, because there was 25 seconds left. But yeah, that's going to be GG. Graveyard's a pretty good matchup for Expo because the archers are such a good, counter to it. So relatively easy last game. And overall, pretty good matchups, but then again, nothing really counters Expo. So pretty much for Expo, almost everything is a good matchup if you play correctly. But yeah, I mean, this guy actually who I beat earlier is really, really good. But Expo also counters Hog. So there's one more matchup I want to show you guys. Let's go ahead and open up the chest, and then I'm going to show one more matchup because I think a lot of the... I'm not sure how much of the video was search time, but probably around 5 minutes, so I'm going to show just a replay real quick. I want to show it versus this graveyard deck because this guy was pretty solid. I checked his profile after. I think he had 20 wins if I remember correctly, and was at 6,600, so he wasn't bad. I'll speed it up and double though at the beginning of the game. So I want to show you guys like how you would beat this kind of graveyard deck, like one that has Bowler and Val, because you guys might be thinking like, oh, this is a bad matchup, right? Well, actually, this is like not that bad of a matchup in my opinion. I think this is like 50-50, and I see a lot of good Expo players beat this kind of splasher deck pretty often because they can't really kill your archers, and you can't really get an Expo lock, or it's not easy to anyway. But you can Fireball cycle like anything they play behind the tower. You can like stack defensive Expos because they don't have a big spell. And yeah, you just play defensive Expos. They get so much value, like the Ewas just get shredded. And this guy's like not even sure what to do. Like he's leaking elixir because he knows single elixir is really difficult for him and he can't really do anything. But yeah, just it's defense pretty much the whole game. Like, I mean, you can see I go for an Expo now because the bowler's out of cycle and I had kind of the Tesla up a little bit. But then I realized it's pretty much impossible for me to get an Expo lock on his tower, so then I realized I need to resort back to just playing defense. So I play the defensive Expo again, and, like, I mean, you can see, I mean, he's got Valk, Bowler, and just, like, a lot of tanks for the Expo. So, unlike the last Graveyard match, the Splash Yard guy, in this matchup, it's just getting an Expo lock is extremely difficult. And then the Ice Spirit didn't freeze for long enough, and unfortunately, the Bowler didn't retarget onto the Knight. But yeah, you can see, I mean, pretty good defenses on the graveyards. Archers are key, and same with the log. But I'm just, again, setting up defensive Expos because I just know, you know, I can't get a lock. But I believe I go for another offensive Expo because this defensive Expo had over half of its health. So I'm like, all right, you know what? We're going to apply pressure in the opposite lane where he has his damage, because ideally when you're against Graveyard, you don't want them to be able to stack a bunch of support cards in the lane where you have the least amount of hit points. And we end up getting a lock because we had that defensive Expo up for a while, and that lock was enough for us to win the game, block the Valk at the bridge. So another, you know, relatively, just to show you guys, like, even if the other person has, like, Bowler and Valk, you just play defense the whole game, pretty much. And all you really need is one Expo lock to win. So, yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really wanted to, you know, as I said, make a video on Expo because it's so OP in this meta. Nothing in it got nerfed. And, you know, it's just a really good deck to use because has so much outplay potential. And yeah, that's going to be it for the video. Make sure to like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Let me know if there's any other decks you guys want me to win a grand challenge with. My next video will probably be after the season's over because right now I'm 129th in the world, just an update. Season high is 76, 36. But anyway, a day and 8 hours left of the season, so not planning on making a video tomorrow. Last day of the season, fully focusing on ladder. Gonna go try to get the best finish I possibly can. But anyway, that's gonna be it. Thanks again. Until next time, guys.